we before the show started, we're like, where are we going to start? Where are we going to start? Because SmackDown was off the charts, in my opinion. And me and you kind of agreed right off the bat. You got to start with the new kid on the block. And this new kid is a freaking werewolf. A Samoan werewolf. This new kid is Jacob Mother Truckin' Fatu. Whoa,
man,
brother.
Man, listen, Bully, it's just
talk to me.
It's amazing that in this era of wrestling that you can get a reaction from somebody that's never worked for a company. A lot of times when you have a surprise, it's, oh, this guy's back, or this guy has been trending to be a star. Like Jacob is on the indies, cream of the crop. But a lot of times we don't associate, as wrestling fans, the indie guy with, oh, he's the guy. This dude is the first guy since Kevin Owens, maybe, to come from the indies that has the potential to be the guy in wrestling. And to go into the Bloodline, which has been the most successful saga for the last 4 years, you talk about putting jet fuel in the gasoline, brother, that was an injection of some serious power.
It was a hell of a visual, the end of SmackDown, with Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, and Kevin Owens standing in the middle of the ring as Solo Sikoa was backed into the corner, sat down on his ass. It looked like the babyface had Solo dead to rights after they took care of Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. And lo and behold, this big grin comes over Solo's face and in through the back door with thrust kick. I don't even want to call it a super kick. I want to call them thrust kicks. With thrust kick after thrust kick after thrust kick, Jacob Fatu comes in and lays out everybody. And you want to talk about the facials. You want about telling a story with your face. I was so high on Tama Tonga when he came in because I know the story he can tell with his face. It's almost as if the Samoan werewolf, Jacob Fatu, takes it to the next level. He knows how to find the camera, and the spotlight knows how to find him. That kid looked like a star on Friday night, right off the bat. Would you agree, Mark?
I 100% agree. And to add to that, Bully, you know how I know that Jacob is serious? And how everybody should be wide open to give this dude a serious chance at being the guy? Came in 35 pounds lighter. Look at him.
Yep.
He came in, his body is the best he ever looked. And on top of that, Jacob usually does the wild hair, thing. Man, braid, twisted, into red dye, and he looked different and polished. That means, one, somebody got in his ear and said, hey, if you're going to do this, you got to really look the part as well as be the part.
Almost that new school Samoan type of build and athleticism and body. Still have the size, but that leaner, meaner, faster, explosive Samoan that we see today. No more of the days of the High Chief Peter Maivia or Afa and Sika. Obviously, Rodney Inoue, Yokozuna, or Big Sam or Little Sam or any of these guys, the Tonga Kid and
Kishi.
And Rikishi. Yep, absolutely. Jacob Fatu, the son of the Tonga Kid. I believe I got that right, Mark, right? He's the son of the Tonga Kid, Sam. And he's also the nephew of the guy that I consider to be the best Samoan, the most athletic Samoan, the best working Samoan of all time, which is, God rest his soul, our friend Eddie Fatu, better known as Umaga. I saw shades of Umaga in Jacob Fatu on Friday night, just in his body English, the way he throws his clothesline, the way he finishes off some of his movement reminds me a lot of his uncle Eki. Sky is the limit without a doubt. He rolls Cody Rhodes out onto the announce table. He goes to the top rope, and brother, did he hit Cody with a stiff splash from the top turnbuckle all the way down to the floor, all the way through the announce table. And Cody had to go on a house show, a live event, I believe last night or Saturday, and he announced to the crowd that he has 2 broken ribs. So it sounds like in his debut, the Samoan werewolf, Jacob Fatu, has already made his mark in the WWE and on the champion, Cody Rhodes.
Bully, you know I'm a sports science guy. I studied under Dr. Steve Fleck at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs. And he used to always say, everything can be quantified by the science of sport, the power in which it happens, the power output, the distance in which it's covered, the endurance in which is endured by an athlete, and the level of height that a player is able to ascend. And that being said, I always look through the lens of sports science. And I had to kind of go back and look at it again. I went back and looked at it like 3 or 4 times. And where Jacob jumped from, the distance between Jacob, where he jumped from on the top of the turnbuckle, and the ring, and then from the ring to the announce table, and then he had to jump at another height so that he didn't slide where he would come down, which is called the apex. The apex of where he jumped so that he landed where he did was about 14 feet.
He was up there.
In total. So you go to a free throw line, and everybody talk about Michael Jordan jumping from the free throw line and dunking. You kind of can figure out like how far that is. With 14 feet to 15 feet. I did it in my mind, not with a ruler. And it was about 14, 15 feet. Absolutely impressive for a guy 200 pounds. When I see a Logan Paul, Ricochet, I expect it. Oh, they great athletes. They could, but this guy is also in the sports science balance. He is moving mass. And when you have to exert enough power to propulse that level of mass, it quantifies. And it goes into this thing that they call pounds per square inch. I would like to know how many pounds per square inch it would take a 280-pound guy to jump 15 feet, because that's what we saw. Everybody that's listening to our voice, Bully, they saw it. How much power did it take to move that? I'm still perplexed about how the hell he did that.
Well, while you're there doing Steiner math, trying to figure out how Jacob Fatu jumped that far and how hard, I'm just going to say it was really fucking far. It was really fucking high. It was really fucking cool.
It was far and it was impressive. And I'm telling you, man, you just popped the shit out of me with the Steiner math. For all of y'all that has never seen the Steiner math promo, please do that for yourself. Like,
It
it's
was
one of the top 10 promos throughout wrestling history.
what
Like,
you were
it's so good.
what you were describing, Mark, is the way Jacob Fatu is able to come down on Cody was like a picture perfect splash, as if he was giving it to Cody in the middle of the ring. It's not like he came up short and had to stretch his arms out or anything. He gave a perfect splash. Now, in giving him that perfect splash and getting that height and getting that distance, yeah, there's no doubt. It's hard to make yourself light. Gravity don't give a you-know-what about making you light. When you're coming down from that high, that far, you're going to catch somebody. And despite the fact that it looked great, just the jarring blow alone was able to give Cody 2 broken ribs. I remember one time, Mark, I was laid out on a table, and we rolled the box truck. You know, a 10-wheeler box truck that you move. So it was our ring truck in ECW, and New Jack put me on a table in front of the box truck, climbed up the back of the box truck, ran the length of the box truck, jumped over the cab of the box truck while I was on the floor on a table. The sheer impact alone, Mark, gave me one of the worst concussions I ever had. And it was a picture-perfect bump. But the jarringness from the blow, from the collision, scrambled my brains like eggs on a Sunday morning. It was pretty bad. So I can understand how Cody got banged up from it. Jacob rolls back into the ring. Solo
Bullet, before you go into Cody and the Samoan Werewolf, whose brainchild was it that said, "Hey, I'm gonna lay right here, and you go run down this truck and dive on me"?
Well, it became New Jack's thing. We had gotten to the point where Jack's thing was the garbage can full of weapons, the music playing, the violence. The Gangsters and the Dudleys were known for all of this crazy stuff, but Jack always liked to do one crazy, memorable thing every night. We would normally look for the highest point in the building for Jack to jump off of safely and for us to catch him safely. And, you know, we did it
in theory.
Well, actually, they all went well. That bump just, not that it didn't go well, it was perfect. It was just very jarring. I remember being at the Asbury Park Convention Center, which I am very proud to say I am the man who personally brought pro wrestling back to the Asbury Park Convention Center. Spike and New Jack jumping off the balconies onto me and Devon. But yeah, it was Jack who always wanted to jump off of something, and me and Devon were the catchers, and we always made sure that, you know, Jack was protected and safe. So we roll back into the ring. Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa are face to face. Solo gives Jacob a big hug. Mark, did you notice anything interesting? It's what Jacob didn't do back. Now, I might be reading into this. I'm not sure. But Jacob didn't hug Solo back. Did not give him that hug. Now we see Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa roll into the ring. We got the 4 of them. They each put the number 1 up in the air. They showed Cody again, and then they kind of went off the air. I'm just wondering if there's something to this Jacob Fatu not hugging Solo back. Because remember, there was a pre-tape earlier in the night where Solo told the wise man, Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns is not coming back. But did Roman Reigns send the werewolf? Did Romans, is the Samoan werewolf with this new bloodline? Or was he sent by Roman? I don't know.